Thursday. We'll wait just a few minutes and let our viewers join us.
Make sure you say hi when you get on and let us know where you're watching from.
There's a couple people. Don't be shy. Say hello if you're joining us today. Hi, Janet.
Hi, Crystal and Jerry.
Emily.
From Hope, Kansas.
Carrie.
Hi, Sue. Jokes.
We don't have any jokes prepared today, Jerry. Sorry.
Next time.
Sharon and Kathy. People from all over.
We got all kinds of states watching. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We have a special guest with us today. Brad Vance is with us from Classic Equine, and he is going to talk about Classic Equine by Ritchie Waters.
Be sure that you put any questions which you might have for Brad in the comments there. Some back feed.
I know. Yep.
It just doesn't like my voice. Be sure you put all your questions in the comments. Brad is here to answer all of them. And at the end of our segment, we are going to pick 2 lucky winners. And the first winner we pick is going to get a $100 gift card that can go towards a Ritchie Waterer. And the second winner is going to get a $50 gift card that can go towards a Classic Equine by Ritchie Waterer. So with that, Brad, we are going to turn it over to you.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. We're here in Granbury, Texas, and like I said, I'm Brad Vance. I'm with Equibrand, which is the parent company to Classic Equine. And one of the brands or line of products that we're extremely excited about and have been working with Valley Vet on for about 4 or 5 years now is the Classic Equine by Ritchie, line of watering solution for equine owners. So today, pretty much 2 goals. One is from a horse owner's viewpoint. I want to walk you through what is Ritchie, what is Classic Equine by Ritchie, and what water would make sense for you based on your needs as a horse owner. And the second thing is what application of the water that you choose makes the most sense. So don't be scared to ask questions today. And we're going to get started, and we're glad that you're on here, and we're glad to be working with Valley Vet. I was fortunate enough to be up there yesterday and toured their facility. They're very fast and efficient to do business with. They do a great job with Classic Equine by Ritchie. They have a great website. They have a great call center. They have some good resources for you. We did a video earlier this year on installation. I believe they're going to put that in the comments. And with that, we're going to get started. So I'm going to walk you through the water. So I'm going to move around a little bit. Garrett's going to keep up with me, and we're going to get started. So I guess the first thing is why Classic Equine by Ritchie. Why would you want to go from a bucket or a hose or a tank to a Classic Equine by Ritchie automatic water? And the pamphlet that we have really does a good job of explaining it. The first answer is it's good for your horse. A hydrated horse is a healthy horse. A horse that has an ample supply of clean, clear, fresh water absorbs nutrients and feed content better. Their digestive process works better, and it's good for the horse. So first reason is it's good for the horse. The second reason, it's good for you as a horse owner. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. It's going to possibly save you time from battling frozen water. You have peace of mind, like putting a horse up during the day or turning one out at night to know that he's got fresh, clean, clear water on demand. So it's good for the horse. It's good for the horse owner. And then last but not least, it's good for our environment. It saves water. The low surface area doesn't evaporate as quickly. You don't end up dumping out stale, stagnant, insect-infested water. So it's good for the environment. So that's why you would consider a Classic Equine by Ritchie, is for those three reasons. First and foremost, the horse owner, and your environment. So we're going to walk through the product line. The first one is right here. This is called the Easy Fount, and it's named that for a reason. It's a non-insulated, non-heated unit. It's for temperate climate, places where you're not going to have freezing conditions. It hooks up with a regular hose bib and a garden hose. So it's fast, quick, easy installation. It's going to keep the water clean. It can water up to 20 head of horses. In areas where you do have some frost, this would be more summer and fall, maybe spring. This is not a winter watering solution. This one, again, is non-insulated and non-heated. You can do permanent installation, like on a cement pad through anchor bolts, but also you can fill the unit full of sand. You can anchor it down, and it's for non-permanent installation. Maybe you just have a little summer trap that you have fenced off and you want water there. So that's the Easy Fount. So moving up from there, you go to the Auto Fount, which is a permanent installation. You'll pour concrete and you'll anchor it down through the anchor bolts. The access panel gives you access to typically a shutoff valve. It is foam insulated. It is one of our heaviest insulated units. So this can be a somewhat frost-free installation. This one, you can do optional heat. Everything that you need to install the water, with the exception of the concrete and anchor bolts, comes in this packet. There's an installation instruction guide. And there's also an optional immersion heater that's available from valleyvet.com. It plugs into a regular 110 outlet and then runs up through here, and then it's placed in the water reservoir, and that's going to keep your water from freezing. And it's a self-regulating immersion heater, so basically it turns itself on at 32 degrees Fahrenheit or below, and it turns itself off at 32 degrees or 33 degrees Fahrenheit or above. So this is the Auto Fount. It comes in a single tub like this, or basically you would have this tub over here and it comes in a double. And just look at valleyvet.com to see those two options. So that's the Auto Fount. So it's standard insulated, and you can do an optional heat with the Auto Fount. Okay. One step up from that unit is the Classic Equine by Ritchie Ultra Fount. This one is our turnkey frost-free unit. It comes standard, insulated, and also standard with a stainless steel reservoir that has a heat element underneath it, and it also has a self-regulating thermostat underneath it. And it also turns itself on when it's 33 degrees or below, and it turns itself off when it's above freezing. So I'm going to tip it upside down, and you can see this is the heating element right here. This is your self-regulating thermostat. This is the pre-wired electricity. This is a heat tape that goes around your water source, and it plugs into a standard 110 electrical outlet. So that is the Ultra Fount. That is our Cadillac, so to speak, and our solution for temperature that's freezing a lot. So that's the Ultra Fount. Then over here we have our Classic Equine by Ritchie stall fount and also the shroud. So I'll talk about the stall fount first. It comes in a non-heated, and then it also comes in a heated unit. And it'll have the same components in the heated version that the Ultra does. You'll have the heat element underneath. You'll have the self-regulating thermostat. And this, of course, goes in your stalls. And you'll have to supply the water and electricity to this unit. I'll take this off where you can see. All of the Classic Equine by Ritchie deals work on a Ritchie Fount valve system, to where basically you'll adjust this to where the water level rises, and the plunger will come up and turn the water supply off as the horse drinks. It lowers the unit down, and then it fills back up. So below here, this is the shroud, which protects the water and electricity. There's a 30-inch shroud that would be this height. Then there's a 20-inch shroud for maybe a weanling or a yearling. So it's something that needs a little bit lower water surface to be able to drink. So that's a real quick overview of the line. We do have a couple videos. I'm going to walk back to the Ultra Fount, and then we're going to play a quick little video that explains some of the Ultra Fount, and you can see it in its application. So we'll walk back over here.
All right, hold on just a second.
This is the top of the line, most permanent, most frost-free water in the Classic Equine by Ritchie line. The difference between this and the Auto Fount, the main difference is that this unit comes fully insulated with standard heat. So you'll get a heat tape that goes down around your water source. You'll get 2 heating elements that are under the stainless steel pan. You'll have a self-regulating thermostat that turns itself on and off when temperatures get to freezing. And you'll have your stainless steel pan that keeps that water warm in the winter. So this is the top of the line Ultra Fount.
Sorry.
Musical chairs.
Do you want us to go ahead and show the other video right now?
Yeah, I'll walk over to the stall fount. And we've also got a video of the stall fount that they're going to play for you, and then they'll let me know when I'm back on here. So.
Okay.
Okay, round Equine by Ritchie line are the stall founts. About 5 years ago when I built this barn, I've never had a barn with a permanent watering solution in my stalls. It was always the garden hose and the buckets. I did permanent water solutions, the Classic Equine by Ritchie stall founts. I've got 5 stalls in this barn. I did 2 of the heated units due to where I had electricity. I did 3 non-heated units just because of the climate here in Texas. So my most favorite thing, if I have company over or like here in the summer, I'll whistle up my horses in the morning. I'll keep them up all day so the hot Texas sun doesn't bake their coats. And I don't have to worry when I'm at work that they've got a clean, fresh, clear source of water in the hot Texas sun.
We're back on there now. I forgot to unmute us.
No problem. Did the videos work for you? Did you get to play them?
Yep.
Good deal. So I guess before I proceed, I'll ask, are there any questions or comments so far on the Classic Equine by Ritchie Waters, specifically on any what I've talked about? I'll answer those.
Carrie asked if they can be direct wired.
They can be direct wired, yes. I would consult with your local electrician depending on the state code. But yes, we do have folks that do direct wire.
Sharon had asked, will they ever freeze up and not work or crack due to the cold/snow and ice? It can get pretty cold and windy here, and it can be for very long periods of time.
Okay. So the Ultra Fount, the Auto Fount with the optional heat has been tested at several universities for extended periods of time, way below freezing weather. And there also is a 10-year warranty. Basically, it's bumper to bumper for the first 5 years. And then it's prorated from year 6 through 10 after that. So they withstand very cold climate, and they've been rigidly tested. So.
Sue had a question. She wants to know how they handle hard water and if there would be any treatments for it.
That's a great question. So as far as hard water, if you have a lot of hard water, calcium, iron, there's one little troubleshooting thing, because you'll sometimes have some buildup in the bottom of the actual fount piece or the valve. And there's a way we can show it maybe later or drop a link where you clean that. There's a little rubber stopper that needs cleaned every once in a while. And all that it will do is it will just not completely shut off. So great question. And they do require a little maintenance on really hard calcium, iron type water.
Oops.
Okay. So I thought I'd just walk through the Valley Supply website. So again, like that's the Ultra Fount, that's the top of the line, that's the double, the 2-drink. That's the single. This is the heated stall fount. That's the non-heated. The double on the auto fount. The single on the auto fount. The easy fount, or the single only. The immersion heater. And then if I scroll down just a little bit, you can also get the heat tape. So that's all the products that are available on valleyvetsupply.com. So, all right, moving forward. So we'll walk back over here, I guess.
We had a couple questions on cleaning.
Go ahead.
We had a couple questions on cleaning. Can you go through that process?
You bet, absolutely.
Cleaning.
Okay, so as far as general cleaning, it's real simple. Basically, you'll remove the plug on any of them, and just a fairly firm bristled brush, and scrub them down. So that would be the plug there. You'll take it out. You can put it in over here. You'll brush the unit down, clean that out, take the plug out, put it back in. And depending on where you're at and how much direct sunlight and all that stuff, maybe once every, month, maybe once every 6 weeks, maybe once every quarter. But they do not require a lot of cleaning. They're pretty quick and easy to clean. Yep. One cool thing on the stall fount, you remove the plug inside there, and then there's a spot for your bucket to sit right here, so that it catches the water, and then you go throw your bucket of water out where it doesn't make your stall all wet and nasty. So hopefully that answers the question on cleaning.
Yep. You talked a little bit about how it holds up in cold weather. What about like the hot weather?
That's another good question. So in the summertime when it's super hot, the best thing about Classic Equine by Ritchie, it's the low surface water and it recharges quickly. So any single unit can water up to 20 animal units, 20 head of horses. Any double unit can do up to 40 units. But since it's a low surface area of water and it's drink on demand. It replenishes quickly. That way your water stays clearer and it's less stagnant, and it's also cooler. And, you know I enjoy a cold drink of water when I'm hot in the summer, and I think a horse does also. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So if there's any more questions, I'll take them. If not, I'm going to talk a little bit about, from a horse owner's perspective, what questions you should ask yourself on selecting them. So just I'll go ahead and get started, and then if there's some more questions, I'll make some time at the end. But I guess the first thing is, one, is climate. Like, pretty much the question is, do I have freezing temps? And if yes, you should consider one that is heated. If no, you can do the easy fount or the auto fount without heat. So the first thing is, how many days of frost are you up against where you live? I Googled it, and I went to weather.gov is where it took me to, and I looked at, for example, this area, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's a little graph here I'll show, and there's about 29 days of freezing weather here close to where we live. And pretty much the answer that I made for my place was, I don't want to worry about, waters freezing up any. So I installed several units that have heat installation. So no matter what, if it's 1 day, 3 days, 2 weeks, 30 days, I don't want to worry about my horses getting cool, clear, fresh water. So you can Google it and figure that out. You can make some decisions on that. If you're in an area where you get, maybe 5 days of frost and you really don't want to put electricity to it, the auto fount has enough insulation in it. A lot of times you may get a little frost on the edge of the water, but it won't completely freeze your water up. So the first question I always answer is just, climate. Where am I located? How many days of freeze do I get a year? And what's it worth to me as a horse owner not to have to go break ice, not to have to haul water? The second question that really needs to be answered is, what is my location? Not where I live in the United States or wherever, but what application am I going to use? Is it one, a non-permanent type installation where I just need it for the summer? That might be the easy fount. Is it going to be in the barn? If I'm going to do a stall barn deal and I want waters in my stalls, the stall fount would be that solution. Sometimes in a barn, you may have a stall, and then you may have a run for each stall. And an installation that works good there is you can use an auto or an ultra and do it in the stall or the run area, and you can split 2 areas, so you get to have one water that works on 2 different runs or 2 different stalls. So another thing is, like your traps or your turnouts or paddocks, whatever you call them, where you've got horses turned out in a natural grazing type environment, then a lot of times, the auto fount, the ultra fount on a permanent installation on a concrete pad might be something you'd choose. So one other thing that I found that I think is really interesting is Google teaches you everything, and there's maps available for frost lines throughout the United States. So how deep do you need to bury your water supply lines to keep them from freezing? So that's also a consideration is, how far from my water source am I going to have to bury a line? How far from my electrical source am I going to have to bury an electrical line? We did an installation video, and I think they're going to drop that link in the comments, and that's things to consider there also. But each horse owner's got a different setup. We provide a solution for, the stalls, the runs, the paddocks, the traps, and we're pretty versatile, and we have a good staff that can help answer those questions. And Valley Vet also has a great staff that's pretty educated on helping with those questions also. So just want to emphasize, there is some work that goes into installing, but the peace of mind and the time savings that you get after it's done is well worth the investment, not only monetarily, but just the sleep good at night factor that you have taking good care of your horse, because a hydrated horse is a healthy horse. And it's the best thing I did to my place. I installed 5 stall founts. 2 of those were heated and 3 of those were non-heated. I installed 2 out in my front traps. One's an ultra and one's an auto, so I could learn and speak better about those. I did put electricity to those. I did one in my back trap that is the auto that's non-insulated. I did one in my catch pen for my steers. And then in my very back trap for my mares and babies, also did an auto fount. So it's the best thing I did to my place as far as taking good care of my horses. So that's really kind of what I have. And I'll field a few more questions. And see what else I can do to help.
Sue had a question. She said, besides the hose hookup, how is the other connected as a direct line?
Well, make sure I hear that one more time, please.
Besides the hose hookup, how is the other connected as a direct line?
I got it. So basically, the Easy Fount is the only one that hooks up with a hose bib. Everything else requires PVC pipe. Typically, it's 3/4 to 1 inch. And then you adapt it down, and there is adapt it down to a 3/4 inch female fitting, and then this 3/4 inch fitting screws into that, and then your hose goes on the hose bib, and then there's a clamp that clamps that, and then it comes up from below, and you put a hose clamp on here, and then you hook this up to your water source. So that would be a permanent plumbed in water supply, and that's for the auto fount, the ultra fount, and the stall fount.
Okay. Jennifer had a question. Is there any way to measure daily water intake with the stall founts?
That's a great question, and we did have a water meter. That is no longer available. The supply on that went away, but it's pretty easy. You'll notice your horses drinking. Like, I still check them pretty regular, to make sure that you can tell if it's clean or not clean. They're real quick and easy to clean, but they drink because it's usually fresh and it's clean and it's clear. It's non-stagnant, and the only thing that would ever happen, like you may have something where like it didn't shut off or something like that, but you can always just look real quickly and the water level's right. And I've never had a problem with a horse not drinking out of it. You might need to walk up there the first time and splash it a little bit just to where they get used to it, introducing something new to them, but I've never had a horse not drink out of one.
Okay.
So Sue asked again, she said that line won't freeze.
So the water supply line, if you're in a very cold climate, that's what this product, let me get it again, right here helps with. This is electrical heat tape, and the self-regulating thermostat will basically turn this on and off. So you would wrap this around your water supply line. There's also a product that I can show you in a book that's called a thermal tube. That would go around your water supply line to keep the ambient air from keeping the water supply line from getting frost on it. And that's where this product, or this map over here helps you with how far you need to bury your water supply source to keep it from freezing. So if you do the install correctly, your water supply line should not freeze.
Trish, we'll have to check on ordering multiple. You can do that on our website or just call in. As far as a discount for multiple, I'll have to check on that. I'm not sure.
Yep.
How does it hold up? Like if a horse would kick it or
So yeah, great question. I've been to Ritchie, and they actually did a bunch of pretty abusive testing to it. They had a big piece of pipe on a chain, and they swung it and kicked it. It's tough stuff. It's a roto-molded resin. It's very bite resistant. It's very kick resistant. All the edges are rounded, so they're very, very safe because horses do have a tendency to, rub on things and pick at things. And they also back it up with a 10-year warranty. So as far as being strong and durable, Ritchie's been building watering solutions for livestock since 1924. So they've been doing it, or 1921. They've been doing it a few years, but they are very strong, very bite resistant, kick resistant. But some great questions.
So we have an installation video that I'll share after we're done here, and that'll kind of explain how to set them up, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what you're questioning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then also, like I said, in each of the waters, there is installation instructions, and this is also available on ritchiefount.com. But it talks about all the permanent installation considerations. So it's got a parts list, and then it's also, Ritchie's got engineers, and we're also pretty rehearsed here. We've put quite a few in here in Granbury at Classic Equine. So we can definitely help with some of the installation questions. The video does a pretty good job also.
Okay. Lori has a question for you. She said she has 2 horses. Do you recommend a single or a double?
Well, the single units, like a single drink, will do up to 20 animal units. So great question. So like if it's out in a trap or a pasture, usually you put that out in the middle so that a horse can approach it from all sides. That way, if you've got one that's kind of the boss, he's not being mean and running one off it. A single unit would do 2 horses easily. It will do up to 20 horses because it recharges so quickly. If you're going to put one of the double units, like and split a fence row with it, that would do 20 horses on each side. If you do a double unit out in the middle of your pasture, that can do up to 40 animal units. So 2 horses on one water is absolutely acceptable.
Is there a warranty on them?
Yep. So basically there's a 10-year warranty by Ritchie, Classic Equine by Ritchie. It's 5-year bumper to bumper. And then it's prorated year 6 through 10, and it basically goes down 20% year 6 through 10. So there is a warranty. Yep.
Well, that's all the questions we have for you from the comments. So did you have anything else to add, Brad, before we draw winners?
I guess just a couple maybe little kind of tips and tricks maybe. I'm going to try to draw something. Like in a typical box stall, say it's a typical, say 12 by 12 box stall, and say your stall front is right here that slides. A lot of times you'll have your feed, so your feed area would be right here. There's 2 things to consider when putting in a water. One is try to put the water source as far away as you can from the feed source. That way it stays cleaner. So mounting diagonally across would be an option. Or if your water supply line, you could put your water there. So that's one thing to consider with the stall founts. Like in a paddock situation, say if this is a 5-acre trap and your water supply line comes in like this, and maybe your gate's right here. So you want fairly close access to your gate. So like you can walk out and check it every once in a while just to make sure you can clean it. But you would pour your cement pad and then you'd install your water on top of it so that there's enough room around it to where if there's several horses, they're not crowding up into a corner, something like that. Okay. One other little tip or trick is, say if you have like a 10-acre trap and you have a common fence line where you put the cement pad and then your water splits this fence line so that you can have a water supply for this pasture over here and a water supply for that pasture over there. So just a couple little tips and tricks. And I guess I'm good if you guys are good. If you have any more questions, we'll follow up. And if you're ready to draw for a $100 gift card towards purchase of a Classic Equine by Ritchie and a $50 gift card, well, sure.
All right.
Thanks for all the questions.
Yes.
And we'll make sure we drop the link for the instruction.
Yes.
And we appreciate Valley Vet Supply so much. You guys have done a great job of working with us on Classic Equine by Ritchie this year. Thank you.
And if you have any more questions, go ahead and post those in the comments. This video will be up on our Facebook page, so we'll try to go back and get those answered for you. So please keep asking questions if you still have them. And Brad, we want to thank you so much for joining us again today and answering all of our questions for us.
Thanks for having us, and thanks for what Valley Vet Supply does. We appreciate y'all.
Okay. All right. First winner is going to win a $100 gift card that can go towards the purchase of a Classic Equine by Ritchie waterer.
And that winner is Jerry Bartlett.
Woo! Congratulations, Jerry.
Congrats.
And our second winner is going to win a $50 gift card that can go towards the purchase of a Classic Equine by Ritchie waterer. I'm sorry.
All right.
All
The
right.
second winner is Sue Schroeder.
Yay! Congrats, Sue.
Congrats.
All right. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Just one reminder before we leave everybody today. Remember to get signed up for emails and follow us on Facebook. We have another great sweepstakes coming up very soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that. All right.
Thank you guys very much, Brad.
Happy Thursday. You guys have a great weekend.
You
Thanks,
too.
Brad.
Bye.